Hey everybody, this is Hunter Pascal with Transactional Tuesday. We've been live for a few minutes. I know you're watching me, trying to get included here. I just want to bring you some updates and what's going on around the world, around the universe, around the country. And how about those Tampa Bay Bucks? How about the Tampa Bay Bucks? Yes, sir. We got new blood in town with big Tom Brady. And but wait a minute. What about the Lightning? Lightning just won the Stanley Cup. Here we are, Transactional Tuesday, talking about Tampa. All the gurus are over in Tampa. All the gurus are in Tampa. And all the playoffs are looking like they're coming from Tampa. The Lightning won the Stanley Cup, right? And now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know, with Tom Brady. We might have a chance. We might have a chance. Tom can't do it by himself, but, you know, we can make it happen. Looks like that bird's nibbling on my ear right there. See that? That damn bird. I got to get away from him. All right. So also we got the Rays, the World Series. Yes. So we got hockey, football, and baseball all in the same year. Miss Pam here was talking about this morning, and she was talking about we're going to have a trifecta of the winners of Florida, the Florida teams. It's Florida's year. That's right. It's Florida's year the way I have to see it. Definitely, because I've been in Florida all my life, and we haven't had a year like the one we're having this year. And with the pandemic, with everything that's going on, you know, the pandemic has messed with a lot of major companies. Disney, I mean, SeaWorld, all the resort stuff here is just non-existent right now. It's very challenging times in this day and age. So you have to learn to pivot, shift, and move, right? So that means how you're buying properties, how you're selling properties, you know, and what you're going to do with what you got in your inventory now. Just finished up a meeting with a builder. One of our agents brought in contact. They got some properties for sale, 1.1, 1.4, and then some 200s and some 300s and some 500s, and a lot of subdivisions. So we're pivoting and moving in all different directions, and that's what you have to do when you get into these times, right? So, I mean, look at baseball, look at football. There's nobody there in the stands. They can't be. They can only fit so many people in, and they're only allowing so many people in because they don't want to have a big gathering together without mask. And I hope everybody's got their mask because you need them now, and before you go anywhere. But let me read a little bit. I got this from a buddy of mine in Germany. And so I'm just going to use his stuff. You know, why create? And why I know this is good, because this guy is a consultant for a lot of companies. And I'm going to put his name up there after this, and post it up there, giving him kudos for this stuff here I got. So look at major companies like Nike, Starbucks, GNC, Rolex, Airbnb, which we've been killing it on Airbnb. Gold's Gym and BMW have suffered major hits as a result from the pandemic. Now, Starbucks, I don't know. I'm still drinking a lot of Starbucks coffee. Airbnb, we're still using Airbnbs, and we're renting our Airbnbs. You know, we were thinking about an Airbnb just recently, and going to in North Carolina. Debbie and I just got back Saturday from North Carolina. If you all saw last Friday, if you go back and look at last Friday, you can see we were in Franklin. And I did a little presentation there in Franklin. It's always nice to do presentations in different states, different counties, different properties, and all. So I'm kind of all over the place right now. So it's kind of filling in a lot of the gaps for everybody that's watching. And meaning that if you're watching, you like it, hey, share it. You know, like and share. Let your friends see it. We might have something there for them. Also, you might be lucky like Caleb was and have somebody watching his Facebook wanting to know how to get connected with us. And then when they get connected with us, then, you know, whoever connected us, the dots, they get paid for that. And if you want to know how you can do that, that's another way you can get involved with us, is bringing people who are interested in the real estate industry to get involved with us. So like major companies, like all these, like Nike, Starbucks, GNC, and Rolex, well, all of them should just join hands, maybe. You know, Airbnb, Gold's Gym, and BMW have all suffered major hits. Maybe they should get together, you know, JV with each other. And that's what's happening. There's been a lot of new JVs, a lot of new things coming out. Got a lot of new students and partners sign up with our program. And like I said, let me get some of this stuff off my computer. And it's just been amazing. So we've, you know, we're full go. I mean, we're killing it. We're closing deals. We're getting listings. We're getting sellers and getting contracts. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go over a contract with you today. So hang on there. I don't know why we can't see this. I guess all right. What's it in the way? Oh, there's the camera. So here it is. I don't know how to do this, that background. So we're going to go over this. Don't worry. I got it where you can really see it. And then we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to show you what we do on exit strategy of a property we picked up a year ago. So thanks to the pandemic, we're expecting an explosion of foreclosures. Now, again, just talking to Pam, you know, everybody's in forbearance mode. Now, you need to read the detail. You need to read the detail from the bank, what forbearance is doing and what it's about. Google it, whatever. But here's what's happening. Forbearance means you don't have to pay your payments for 90 days, maybe 180 days, depending on what it is. But at the end of that 90 days, at the end of that 180 days, that money's got to be repaid some way, somehow. Okay. And there's going to be a lot of properties that are going to go into foreclosure because people cannot pick up, not where they left off, but where they left off and added fees to where they have to go. So here's where they stop paying, and here's where they got to pay. It doesn't balance out. You have to pay that payment. In other words, the bank's not going to let you live for free for 90 days or 180 days with no payment some way, somehow. Banks aren't in the industry to lease or rent real estate. They're in the interest of collecting interest on payments. And everybody that's bought a house and has a mortgage on their property from a lender, from an institution, is now going to have to repay everything they missed. And how that bank's going to do that, there could be a couple ways. Now, forbearance is you catch it up in multiple payments later on. And then if you can't do the forbearance, you're going to have to do what's called a modification. And in that modification, the homeowners, the debtor, is going to have to provide the documentation that's going to support the fact that they can buy this piece of real estate again. So basically, it's like refinancing your house all over again, no matter how long you've been in there. You're going to have to show your pay stubs, your tax returns. You're going to show all your debt ratio, all that stuff is going to be brought out. And hopefully you set some money aside from this forbearance because you haven't paid. And the ones who couldn't pay, you know, we just had a tenant in our office here earlier saying he's getting his $5,000 from Orange County, or no, Seminole County, I'm sorry. Seminole County is offering $5,000 to tenants that haven't been able, that's been hit by COVID in their business, to collect a one-time $5,000 fee, but they pay your landlord that payment, and which I thought was pretty cool. So again, there's a lot of stuff shifting and moving. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said they just can't believe, you know, the people moving from California, Chicago, different areas, all those big inner cities that are having all the big problems, Washington, they're getting the hell out of there, and they're moving south, or they're moving west. I mean, they're moving east, or they're moving south. So everybody's moving southeast some way, somehow. You know, New York's moving to Florida, North Carolina, Washington, California, Oregon, all them moving kind of east back over. So it's pretty crazy out there what's going on. So I'm telling you, we're just seeing the ripple effect right now. This is not the big push. It's coming. I'm telling you right now. So thanks to the pandemic, we're expecting the foreclosure. Our 25 years of negotiating debt is like just like this, makes us uniquely qualified to tackle those problems. And yes, now that's the key word, is experience, negotiation, and uniquely qualified. I like that word Michelle used in there. Uniquely qualified to handle all the pressure that's coming from the homeowners that are coming from the lenders. And we're ready for you when you're ready for us. We're here. We're not going anywhere. And we can show you homeowners and investors alike how to survive this pandemic. Okay, we can show you how to survive in this pandemic. and definitely something that needs to be something, you know, you just don't get through this with just a prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation helps, but there has to be some action steps. You know, there has to be some action steps to happen. So what I want to do today, I gave you all the bad news, you know, the pandemic, people losing everything. Our company is exploding. But basically, we have people we just met, like I say, with a builder, which is from one of our agents, Kim, in the office. And, you know, but it was because she was aggressively looking for business. There's business out there, guys. You just have to look for it. It's all around us. You know, the business is everywhere. It is. It's amazing. Even though the pandemic is going on, even though all this negative stuff's going on, there's still big business out there because they're not going to lay down. People with money, people with ideas, people with projects, people with building, people loaning, they're all out there. They're knocking on my door every day. So they're out there. Are you out there and are you ready? Now, I want to show you an exit strategy. I'm going to tell you about this deal. Here we go. So a year ago or so, one of my clients, ex-client, brought me this opportunity, bought a property a couple years ago. A year later, couldn't afford the payments, and asked if we would come involved. And I shared about this a little while ago. And so yeah, we said we'll come in, we'll take your payments over, we'll give you some equity, which we did. He had some equity in the property, and we ended up getting a property. I can't remember the exact numbers, and I apologize. Here's what I do know. I know the payments are $1,000 a month, all in, taxes, insurance, and everything, right? So from that point, what do we need to do? Well, we need to take care of that debt, right? So I'm servicing a debt of $1,000 a month, and that's all in on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, bonus room, 2-car garage property in DeLand, and it's a brand new home. Didn't really need anything. Matter of fact, we had to pay to get the furniture to take the furniture out because the people we tried to sell it to didn't want it. So we ended up didn't selling, but we rented. So we rented a home for almost a year now, and now it's ready to go again. And I said, you know, I don't want to rent this home. I want to sell it. So I want to sell it owner finance. So here's what we did. We took the payment that we have. We know we have a payment of $1,000 a month, and we're selling the house for $239,000, I believe. We bought it for a lot less than that. We bought it for about $180 is what we got in. About $190, I think, is the total in. Let's just say all in at $190. And now I got this $190 property that has a mortgage on it, less than $190, but so I had to pay a little cash to get into it. And the payments are $1,000 a month. I love that payment, all in, taxes, principal, and insurance, because I know I can rent the property out for $1,650 a month. Well, that's exactly what we did. We rented the property out for $1,650 a month just to do a quick rent, to get it out there, so we didn't have to pay any more payments. We didn't want to pay any payments, so that's how we did it. We got a deposit from the tenant. The tenant gave us, you know, $3,600 or whatever it was. They canceled their lease before, like 2 months early. So what we did was we didn't collect on the money the last 2 months, but we just kept their deposit and basically kept the $3,600. And then we decided to go ahead and start marketing the property. Well, here's the results from marketing the property the way we market it. And watch this, how we created a lot of cash with nothing. Just a lot of cash with nothing. And I say nothing, it is something, because we're creating it through the process of contracts, okay? So we're gonna do an owner finance contract, and let's see if I can find this thing. And this is what's called a residential lease agreement, okay? Here's the property right here, 114 No Name Key Drive in DeLand, Florida. We didn't want to give the numbers here, but here's my name, William Pascal. Always do my leases in my name. Why do I always do the leases in my name? Because when eviction time comes about, I don't have to hire an attorney. I don't want to have to hire an attorney to evict somebody. Yes, I've hired many attorneys to evict people before, but I was always the one doing all the work. And I said, why am I paying you if I'm doing all the work? I'm providing all the documentation. Yes, they write up their 3-day notices. Yes, they write up the notices to evict the people and all that. So it only takes once or twice to learn all that stuff. and learn the new laws as they go by. And now we got some new ones because of COVID and the CARES Act, right? So we have to be careful. So but on another note, just to let you know, we have about 30 rentals or so, 30, 40 rentals, and nobody's behind. Nobody's been behind. We've made it through this COVID perfectly. It's still being paid perfectly. So that's the good news for us. Well, this particular property we needed to sell, and we didn't want to put a tenant in it. So what we did was we write two contracts. We write a purchase and sale or a residential lease agreement for the front side, basically the lead side. And here's their payments right here. Their payments in the amount of $1,876.72. Now that's all in. That's taxes, insurance, principal, and interest right here. Now you already know what my payment is this $1,000. This $876 is something you might want to call our office and talk about, because where do you create $876 a month on a deal? And I mean, there's multiple ways of doing this, but this is the way we do it. And so it's $1,876 a month. Look down here, we have no security deposit. So they didn't give us any security deposit on this agreement here, right? This lease agreement is no security deposit at all. And the reason we do that is because if they break this lease, they do not get a security deposit. Wait till you see the security deposit, the amount of security deposit we got. Now, this is our exact document. Actually, we blacked out. I did this in 10 minutes for today's transaction, because this is something, we got a bunch of other deals going on, but this was a unique one. This is not a short sale. It was a distressed property, but it wasn't in foreclosure yet. It wasn't in that system yet. It wasn't there that far along with the bank. So we picked it up, brought it current, brought the payments current. Actually, the payments were current. I bought equity. I'm sorry, I bought equity on this, about 10 grand. And I'll just give you the number. So we're in it for $1.90. We owe 180 or whatever it is on these payments of $1,000 a month, because it's low payments. And we love that because this has already been modified. This particular property got modified. So no security deposit, okay? This is my rental contract. Occupancy, premises be used as a residence only by the following persons. We got names in there that needs to be changed. I see that right now. I just saw that. I'm glad I didn't send this lease to somebody. This is a document that I'm pre-proofing before the tenant actually get it. So lease needs changed name. Sorry, guys. This is something very important. You do need to go over your leases and make sure that the one you did before doesn't have the same name it needs to be names be different. So I know that's not the right name, the buyer of this property, so that needs to be changed. Uses, use the resident shall have the premises or in such a manner as comply with all the local counties. So you can't be growing dope, you can't be doing business out of the property, you can't be doing anything that's not permitted and all that. So these leases are pretty tight. We've worked on these for a long time. We talked about vehicles. You might be only parking the spaces that are there. Matter of fact, we're going to put on here in driveway, and you want to be specific on these. In driveway where provided only, because you can't park on the street in here because you'll get your cars towed away. So we want to let them know that. There's a lot of other stuff, waiver, liability, invalid clause. This is all attorney stuff. And it's okay, violation of terms, go through the process. So here is the lease that hasn't been signed yet. We will be getting it signed after this, actually. And now let me show you the other part. So we have a two-part purchase and sale agreement. It's a rental lease agreement, which is if they default on this lease, then they default on the second contract, okay? And I believe that states it in my contract. Let me find that for you. Michelle, I think I might have boo-booed. Oh, never mind. Here it is. I didn't boo-boo. Michelle had it all ready for me. All right, so now I got it. Thanks. I found it. I'm getting better and better at this stuff. I know I'm old and slow, but you know what? I'm catching up to you youngsters. This is hard stuff right here. Going from the old farming age to this digital age. That's what some of the people call me, old farm boy, old country boy or whatnot. But look at this. This is the key document. Standard purchase and sale agreement, because it is standard for this market, right? Hey, I can draw on this one. Cool. So So here's the name of here's the address. Look at the name of the seller right here. Look at the name of the seller right here, right? Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Yes, we do land trust on everything. Yes, this property's in a land trust. Yes, this is a document that a lot of people may or may not use now, but we still use land trust. We still have been very due diligent with land trust. I like them better than LLCs. There's a lot of different things you can do because there's now another agreement that comes with this land trust, which I'll share another day. But just for today, the buyer is here. We cross out their name to keep them, you know, we don't want to keep them out. We don't want to put them out there in the public today. And then here's the seller. It's 114 No Name Key Trust, HP Investment Group Inc. as trustee. That is the owner of the property, guys. The owner right there. Not me, not Debbie, not nobody in my office. That's the owner right there, is the trust, okay? And we'll go over that another day. But here's the cool part. You know, instead of getting a first last security deposit, I wanted a $35,000 deposit. Now, this is on a purchase agreement, right? Now, $35,000 deposit is on this particular document is a $239,000 sale, right? 239 sale. And here's the money. This is what the payment was generated. That $1,800 you saw earlier is going to be right in here somewhere, I hope. Right here, financing. The balance due to seller will be evidenced by a lease agreement dated the same date as this agreement, payable at $1,875 a month. This amount does include taxes and insurance. The buyer has 2 years to obtain a new mortgage. If buyer does not obtain a required financing within 2 years, the terms will be renegotiated. Very good right here. Renegotiate, not left the same, renegotiated. That's what we say. We don't want to leave the terms the same after 2 years. Who knows what's going to happen, right? We don't know, they don't know. But if they don't buy in 2 years, the terms got to be renegotiated some way. As long, here's what I tell my clients. If you haven't been giving me any problems, any challenges on making this monthly payment right here every month, and you haven't been a pain in my ass, then we'll let you go on for a few more years. We'll help you get financed at this point because evidently whoever was helping you now wasn't doing a good job. And that's kind of where these are. We have our own team that helps people get in these properties, but a lot of times buyers have their own people, so they're working with or they trust or whatever, and we usually just go ahead and let them do what they're going to do. They're either going to get through the process or they're going to fail, and then we'll come in and pick them up and help them get processed to get through this thing if they can. If not, then we'll worry about that in 2 years. Okay. So, but for 2 years, we got $35,000 and we're getting $1,876 a month. And that's a beautiful thing because you saw, or you know what my payment is. My payment is $1,000 a month all in. And that's where we make our money. Buyer will pay all closing costs right here. Seller will pay no closing costs right here. So that means this buyer, when they close, they're going to pay all the closing costs. They're going to pay all the closing costs here, and that's going to be on them to take care of. Okay. Now, throughout this contract right here, the standard purchase and sales agreement is pretty strong. Payments, expenses, buyers fail, they lose everything. There's no proration on taxes or anything like that. So whatever it is when it gets calculated. Title evidence is 10 days after satisfaction of conditions of paragraph 9. And we'll talk about that a little bit. You got survey, NA, no survey required. Wood destroying organism is NA. Typically, again, this is standard purchase and sale. If there's wood destroying organisms and it's on them, they take care of it. This deal, the title examination time of closing is 2 years. Normally it's 35 days or 30 days in a regular contract, but this one's 2 years. So that's what it's going to be, 24 months. Just let you know, you need to get a mortgage by then. They're buying the property as is right here, as is right there. And means I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do any trash. I don't have to do any toilets. I don't have to do no cleaning. I don't have to do nothing, right? They're buying it as is, where is, how it is. Occupancy, default on attorney's fees. That's going to be, mediation. It's going to be nothing that goes into a big lawsuit. Okay, we're not going to let that happen. So right here, number 18 is the big deal. Buyer is buying property as is in its as is condition with no warranties set or implied. Buyer's 1876 payments will be evidenced by a lease agreement. Buyer is responsible for all HOA dues. Buyer is responsible for all maintenance and repairs on the property. This contract becomes null and void if the buyer defaults on the lease agreement, and all monies paid in on lease and contract will be non-refundable, period. And that document, that statement right there seals the deal every time. So what does that mean? So if they walk, if they miss their lease, whatever, they lose everything they put into this deal, into this property. And, we've only had a few that didn't do that. So we have been very lucky, very blessed for people following through, because we want them to follow through. But if they don't follow through, then we get it. You can't see it?
You're not seeing.
Uh-oh.
Says they can only see the first document, not the second one.
Uh-oh. Only the first one. They can't see this one? You can't see standard purchase and sale agreement? Well, that's why I do this. I'm tricking you. You have to come to my office and see these documents. So if you want to learn all this stuff, you have to come to our office. So you're not seeing the second document. Okay, so let me see what I did wrong. We'll go over it again. I don't have a problem going over it again.
Reduce it.
Cancel. So you want me to reduce this document?
So. Yeah, just reduce it and then go back into here.
Go back into here. I gotta do stop share here.
Oh yeah, stop the old share and start a new one.
All right, so I had to stop the old share, start a new share. So where is it? No, it's on that. It's not in here. It's right here.
There.
Now can you see it?
Hopefully.
How about now? Now can you see it?
There's a delay. So give me a second.
There's a delay from this to her phone. Shelf. So I can't see anybody because I'm on Zoom, so I can't tell the questions. I can't see the hands.
Yeah, I think it's working.
So you see a standard purchase and sale agreement now?
Like I can see you opening it, so I think it's
Oh, you can see me open. Okay. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Again, damn, I thought I was doing so good. Thought I had this baby wrapped up. So they did see the first lease agreement because that was already opened.
Yes, they saw the lease.
Okay. So now we're on the standard purchase and sale.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not working. It's just showing this.
That is weird. Let me close this. All right, let me, and what is this, owner finance? Where'd you get this at? An email?
That was a folder. I just put it on. It's on your desktop.
So you can see this now.
I saw that. Yeah, I just never opened.
It never opened. Well, it opened here. Your screen sharing live. That's interesting. All right, what'd you do to me, Michelle? It's all Michelle's fault. I know that. Can I close out of here?
Yeah.
Do I got to go to an email?
I think so.
All right, I'm gonna stop screen share for a minute. We got to fix something here. I got to find this. Oh, there's participant. All right, so let me find this. So if I want to go screen share, right?
Trying to find, there should be an open document unless you had closed it.
You know what? I didn't hit share. Now we'll do it. See if this works. How about that? Now see if you can see that document. We had it open earlier and I shut it down and I lost it. And then I just tried to grab it back without Michelle's help. Now you should be able to see it. There you go. Hey, voila. It's a freaking thing again. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to do it again. So here's the buyer's standard purchase and sale agreement. Now look, this is a two-page, or not, this is a two-page contract. This is a two-part process on this. Now this is the selling. This is us selling this property that we have $1,000 a month payment that we have to make for till the end of the loan. I got it for 30 years, 28 years, 27 years, whatever it is. That's how long I can make the payments until I pay it off or refinance it or whatever. Now we have a, here's the name. I talked about the name earlier, 114 No Name Trust, No Name Key Trust, HP Investment Group Inc. as trustee. And again, sorry about all this. You didn't get to see it. And it's kind of better if you see what I'm talking about. For me, it would be, and I apologize, but there's the name of the seller, which is us, and I buy all my real estate and land trusts. And again, we can talk about that another day in agreement declarations. And the address of the property is right here, so you can go look it all up. It's all public record. You know, do what you want. But here's the key: we got a $35,000 deposit from the buyer, 35 grand, not 1,800 or 3,600 or 5,000, $35,000 non-refundable deposit. That's right, it's non-refundable, and it's on this contract, which mirrors the other contract. All right, and then right here, the financing is the balance due to the seller will be in evidence by a lease agreement, dated the same date as this agreement, payable at $1876.72 a month. This amount does include the tax and insurance. The buyer has 2 years to obtain a new mortgage. If the buyer does not obtain the required financing within the 2 years, so you guys already heard this again, so now you get to see it, will be renegotiated. And I talked about the renegotiation. Could there be a fee on renegotiation? Yeah, there could be a fee on renegotiation. But like I said, if they've made this payment to me and haven't been a pain in our ass, not to me, but to the trust, haven't been a pain in our ass, and we haven't had to go collect money and all that, then we'll look at them, getting them, helping them get financed the proper way. Buyer will pay all closing costs right here. This is closing costs. Everything in here is all buyers. Anything in here is not the seller's. Buyer pays all. That means both sides. Seller pays no closing costs, none, zero, right? And then we talked about payment expenses. We have to talk about proration of taxes. This is proration of taxes. So there's no proration of taxes, so it's all included because they're doing the escrows. They're paying for it. It's not an escrow. It's not even called an escrow with us. It's a payment that takes care of that. There are no escrows. So, and then wood destroying, that's your wood destroying. If there's any wood destroying or termites, it's all on them. It's not on us. The title evidence has to be done within 24 months. I think it said 2 years, 24 months. I just kind of scribbled over it. But, again, here's the big stuff. Here's where the rubber hits the road, right down in here. So number 12 through number 18 is pretty strong. Seller agrees to deliver the property in its as-is condition. I'm not cleaning, fixing, doing anything to the property. All we did was emptied it out. Matter of fact, we had it rented for $1,650 a month for, like I said, less than a year, and we kept 2 months of their rent on the deposit. And that's not the same people. These are two different people now. And now the occupancy, sellers, it's going to be not occupied by anybody but them, personal property. The only thing that's included is what's there. There's nothing withhold. They get all the appliances and all that. You could charge if you wanted, but we just don't. We figured $35,000 was enough to cover all that. And then we talk about zoning, the things they have to do. They have to stay within the limits, the laws of the area. They can't be doing things they're not supposed to be doing because the lease is first. If they break the lease, they break this. If they break the lease, they break this. They lose everything. And again, we haven't had too many people lose everything. We've had a couple, not too many. We've been doing this quite some time. So remember, I put the contracts and the name. The other stuff was in my name on the lease. But in the standard purchase and sale agreement, it's in the trust. So, and my company's trustee. So, again, it mirrors everything except for that. The lease, they break the lease, it ties into this. A buyer is buying the property as is condition with no warranty set or implied. Buyer's 1876 payments will be evidenced by a lease agreement, which we went over earlier. Buyer is responsible for all HOAs. Buyer is responsible for all maintenance and repairs of the property. the contract becomes null and void if the buyer defaults on the lease agreement, and all monies paid in on the lease and contract will be non-refundable, period. So that's how if they did quit paying, that's how we keep the $35,000. That's how we keep all the rental payments they made and all that. Some people say, hey, Hunter, if they put that kind of deposit down, they quit paying, you'd have to foreclose them out. Typically not, because by the time they quit paying, by the time they do this, if that did happen, they're going to leave anyway. $35,000 is about a minimum I would take on this particular deal on a $200,000 sale, because they have to have so much down to get qualified later on. So you kind of want to be smart about that. And it also gives us an extra $35,000 when we get it. Gives us an extra $35,000 to invest in something else or whatever, right? So it's just non-refundable. So that's our contracts, the two contracts we use to do that with. It's pretty powerful. We've done it many times. We've done a lot of these agreements. I'm trying to hit the no share button. There it is, stop share. And it's been successful for us. Again, there's been some incidences that we have received all that money and they've walked, and it's unfortunate. I hate to see people walk on something like that. I truly do. I'm not in the business to take advantage of people. Remember, we're in business to help people get to where they want to go. But then again, on the flip side, in the stressed industry, people do whatever they're going to do. Sometimes they don't make the payments like they should. They're not responsible stewards of their money that they've earned or worked for. And so they forget about their bills and things like that. And the next thing you know, the bank's knocking on your door with a foreclosure and you got to do something. Well, like this guy, if this person wouldn't have came to us, number one, if I wouldn't have this exit strategy, I wouldn't have been able to give him the money he wanted. It was a little tight deal for a minute until we found a buyer at $35,000 that's more than what we owe, and that's how you do those kind of deals. Now remember, this is we're short, fix, and flip, but all types of transactions come from our marketing, come from our branding, come from our lead generations, and this is just one of the exit strategies that we use, and it's a pretty good one. And so that way I don't have to worry about the toilets. It's DeLand, or it's in DeLand, so it's probably a 40-minute drive from here. So I don't have to worry about fixing things in the middle of the night and all that stuff, which we don't ever do anyway. So I don't know who comes up with that. Somebody calls me in the middle of the night, it better be a flood or a fire or something like that. So that's the only thing I know. Thank God that's not happening a lot. So anyway, if you got any questions, I'd love to answer them. If it's on here, I don't know that I can see them. I can't, because it's on Facebook is all I can see. So get with Michelle, send her an email, contact us on Facebook, hit us up on here, DM me. I don't care. We'll get it to you. We want to get you going in the right direction. 2020 is coming around the corner to the end. 2021 is around the corner, and it's the beginning. So what is your 2021 going to look like? Hell, I can't even say it hardly, 2021. What is your 2021 going to look like? Ours is going to be busy. I hope you're along with us. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're enjoying the pleasures of the free money if you're getting that from the government, but no, it's going to run out. And if you're in a forbearance, you better look at the details of the paperwork, because forbearances aren't as nice as they perceived to be in the beginning, when there was no help, no money, no jobs and all that. But now, the banks want to get back into the game. The banks want to get back into, the stream of income. That's what they're there for. They got investors to pay. They got government backed stuff to pay and all that. So how this is going to turn out, I don't think anybody really knows yet, but I know this, the market's still strong. So if you're playing, get it done now before something happens. And the market's going to change. So strong and change, I can tell you those two things. Right now it's strong, and I know it's going to change. So I'm pretty good predictable on that one. So that's pretty easy.